During a recent premiere, I got a terrific episode idea from Robert Kumpel, 6880. He said if I had considered doing an episode on the other singers in Led Zeppelin. Based on the available evidence, this will be a short but interesting walk down a less than traveled road. Everybody knows Robert Plant, lead vocalist, on-stage mannerisms and gestures, iconic, a traveler of both time and space. Yet the band hides a little-known secret. He was not the only singer in Led Zeppelin. Where the Beatles, The Who, and Queen often shared vocal duties among several members, Led Zeppelin was a different kind of beast. Keith Richards expressed his opinion on how Zeppelin was mostly a guitar-driven band. In his words,
"To me, Led Zeppelin is Jimmy Page. You want to cut the story short, Jimmy, yeah."
For other critics and millions of fans, Zeppelin was a part of Britain's hard rock trifecta alongside Deep Purple and Black Sabbath. Now, Zeppelin had a larger-than-life frontman with ultimate on-stage presence, while the other three focused almost entirely on mastering their instruments. Yet every now and then, another voice would emerge, not to compete with Robert Plant, but to serve the music. That's one of the band's greatest strengths, not only knowing where you excel or PowerPoint, but also when a subtle contribution can elevate the collective sound. As coach Phil Jackson once said, "You're only as good as your weakest link." Ironically, Zeppelin's weaknesses are fascinating. Their weaknesses are like another band's entire discography. The other voices in the group hint at the fact that had they wanted to play that game, they probably could have done it and crush it.
I can't sing. No.
Jimmy Page may say he couldn't sing, but we the fans feel that's not true. Let's go back to 1957, a British TV show, and we can spot him singing to the sounds of skiffle. Looking a bit shy, he was ready for rock and roll. He was not lead vocalist, but... That's an ambulance in the back. I was trying to record this, but there's... Alright. He was not lead vocalist, but sure had to concentrate dearly with the added pressures of a television studio. Years later, Jimmy had established himself as session player in London's busy recording studio circuit. Among his long list of credits, Page worked with American singer Jackie DeShannon, who had been a part of the opening acts for the Beatles. Their music collaboration turned into a relationship, and this may have influenced Jimmy's next move, to go in front of a mic as lead singer for the first and last time in his career. She Just Satisfies was released in early 1965 to mixed reviews, but it showcased his voice, and strangely enough, it sounds like early-day Roger Daltrey. While Page didn't think much about this decades later, calling it tongue-in-cheek, it's a fascinating listen nevertheless.
She satisfies. Good loving, she gives me those you know.
From the get-go, Led Zeppelin featured backing vocals from all four members on tracks like Good Times, Bad Times, and Your Time Is Gonna Come, quite possibly their most upfront delivery and tribute to 60s pop rock vibrations. Their follow-up changed things around, with just Page contributing to backing vocals on 2 numbers. You can spot his voice on Thank You, joining forces with Robert on the descending arpeggio section.
Little drops of rain, tears of love lost in the days gone by.
Jimmy is also there for Hola Love. Page would sometimes sing the chorus in unison live on stage. Led Zeppelin 3 had Robert do all the singing. By the time they recorded their 4th installment, Zeppelin called a guest vocalist, Sandy Denny, for Battle of Evermore. She had been a part of British folk band Fairport Convention. Both John Bonham and Robert Plant knew their bass player Dave Pegg from the Midlands music scene, thus establishing a personal link. Her masterful work on Zeppelin's classic elevated the track's mystique, and you can tell she was thrilled to collaborate with Plant, judging by an event they attended in late 1970. Did Led Zeppelin ever perform this song live? We'll talk about that in a few minutes. The band had no more backing vocals from Houses of the Holy all the way to the end. So where else do we find the other singers in Led Zeppelin? 2 words: live performances. John Bonham had a history with singing back to his early days in the music scene. Robert Plant addressed Bonzo's vocal abilities at the 2007 reunion. Singing ran in the Bonham family.
Now Jason, I remember his mom, his dad, used to sing. They were the best Jimi Hendrix impersonators. I remember John used to be in a band in Birmingham and used to sing The Wind Cries Mary about 400 times a night.
Bonzo took the mic as far back as 1972 for a live favorite, Run It R Stomp, a song about Robert's dog, Strider. All this while playing drums.
Over there, Johnny Cash, you can never. We'd like to also, at this point, put the spotlight on our professionals in singing. This is the 9th tour of America, and we finally got into a microphone. Featuring singing John Bonham. Fantastic, John Bonham. Yeah, don't you smiling at me? That's the way it should be. I believe this to a tree so high. The tree so strong when so many loves go wrong. But I don't go on.
The track showcased the brotherhood Plant and Bonham shared. Bonzo could actually sing a great harmony next to Robert. His skills were again put to the test on their 1973 cut, The Ocean, where Bonzo sang the intro and would perform the middle section interlude once again along Robert. Had Zeppelin wanted to go for more double-line vocals in the studio, Bonzo was the right man for the job. He had the high range and the feel to be the perfect companion for Plant. Fun fact, Bonham would play variations on The Ocean's intro just to mess with the audience.
We've been together now for a long time. As you know, I've never sung a note, nor ever going to. But on this track I was allowed to shout. It don't fall already, but now we're steady and then they win. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now we're steady and dummy win. 1, 2.
Yes, far out. It done 4 already, but now we're steady and then they win. It's 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a go.
Now let's jump to the band's 5-night series at Earl's Court, May 1975. The audience enjoyed electric versions of Tangerine, featuring Plant, Page, and Jones on vocals. You can spot this moment on the Latter Days booklet. Not sure if Bonzo is singing here, but you get the idea. This was the closest thing to the Beatles, The Who, or Queen, with every bandmate taking on the vocal department. But of course it wasn't The Who or Queen because they think Led Zeppelin is better than.
And so we decided to develop for at least one number in our career, 4-part harmony. We're now going to witness the 4-part harmony on a song called Tangerine.
That same show had Page, Plant, and Jones on vocals for another number, That's the Way. But none of these vocal contributions would lead to the most unexpected singer in Led Zeppelin's history, a role that remains one of the most controversial vocal performances in their record books. The band's last visit to America in 1977 brought back the acoustic set to the United States, and with it, the live premiere of The Battle of Evermore with Jumble Jones on vocals.
So the Jumble Jones was on vocals there. Jumble Jones. See how well he's coming along.
I know you're wondering, why didn't they call Sandy Denny as guest and bring her on tour? The answer is a bit tricky. By the time they were rehearsing for the upcoming American tour in late 1976, early 1977, Sandy Denny had already recorded her last studio album and found out she was pregnant, which made a possible guest spot on a Zeppelin tour quite complicated and risky. Whether she was ever considered for the tour remains unknown. So the practical solution for the Battle of Evermore became Jumble Jones, a left-field decision that only a brave musician like Jones could tackle. He already could do mandolin, keyboards, organ, bass pedals, you name it. Singing prominent vocal portions in front of hundreds of thousands while playing guitar? No problem. The song was performed some 40 times, April through July 1977. Speaking of 1977, they switched things around for Run It or Stomp, with Jimmy Page on vocals instead of Bonzo. Despite all the online theories about Jimmy's personal lifestyle choices at the time, he sounded great on acoustic throughout the tour. This type of singing reflected live at the very top of the rock and roll business. Tight but loose. There's one Zeppelin mystery that doesn't seem to have a definite answer. The 2015 deluxe edition of Presents included a reference mix for the song Royal Orleans. The track has an alternate vocal that doesn't sound like Robert Plant, with some folks stating it has to be Bonham. Supposedly an impression of American singer Dr. John, it's hard to determine who sings here. Now, on The Song Remains the Same movie, Jason Bonham is playing drums to Dr. John's Right Place, Wrong Time, so you kind of want to think it's Bonzo on this Presents bonus track. Jumble Jones reprised his singer role on 2 solo albums. His 1980 soundtrack for Scream for Help had him sing on Bad Child and When You Fall in Love. Bad Child is one hell of a song that could have been a synth pop classic, and you can check my instrumental take here on the channel. Jones's superb last studio album, The Thunder Thief, was released in 2001. His voice can be heard on the high-impact title track, the delicate sounds of ice fishing at night, and Freedom, plus the angry punk attitude approach on Angry Angry.
I'm angry, angry. I'm so irate. Right day, light into dark.
Always a musician filled with surprises, he went on the road in support of the album. And yes, he sang live on stage, including a nice Zeppelin number that really makes you appreciate the wide range of styles he could cover. It was a major step up from his live 1977 efforts. The 2007 Zeppelin reunion featured additional vocal support from Jason Bonham on Good Times, Bad Times, and Misty Mountain Hop, providing solid harmony work. Props to Jason. Not only did he inherit one of the most demanding drumming jobs in rock history, he also sang like a pro. Only a Bonham could pull that off.
And Jason's a pretty cool singer too. So we're going to feature Jason on vocals here now. We've been rehearsing for this, so it would be wrong if you didn't hear how Jason sings on his own.